Hello everybody, welcome back from your timeout. I hope you're rested well. I hope you are full of energy again so we can continue with this second part of chapter 1, the second part of our flipped classroom video. This section is about geography. We started out with history, but now we're going to go to second section, studying geography. And before we continue, I want you to take a look at this picture over here. Can you tell me the difference between things that were already there and things that were made by people? Well, that's an easy question, you would tell me. That is true, that is an easy question, but why do I tell you this? Why do I ask you this? Well, first let's talk about what we're going to learn in this section. Geography is the study of places and people. Not only where we're going to go on vacation, no, there's more to it. Geography is the study of places and people. Second point, studying locations is very important to both physical and human geography. Okay, a little bit back to the picture. What is the difference between things that were already there, physical features, and things that were made by humans, human features? So go back to point 2. Studying location is important to both physical and human geography. The third one is talking about geography and history closely connected. Because history, we discussed already a lot about that before in the previous video. Now we're going to talk about geography. But geography is very closely connected with history. Geography is very important in order to study history. We're going to talk about it and we're going to learn why that is. And a fourth part is physical geography and human geography contribute to the study of history. So once again, what is the difference between that physical and a human part? Physical is basically everything that the earth made by himself. Mountains, rivers, seas, oceans, lakes, what else? Forests, deserts, all those kind of things. Human geography or human features are things that we created. Cities, roads, railroads, canals, all those kind of things are part of human geography. Oh no, what happened over here? This looks like a very serious accident. Who were there? And where did it happen? Those are two questions that most people would ask if they see a scene like this. Well, the same thing counts for historians. They ask the same question about events that happened in the past. Think of any historian event and you would ask yourself, where did it happen and who was there? Well, those two W questions, who and where, are specific for geography. So it proves once again that geography is just very important to study about history. And that is why historians need to study geography. Geography is the study of the Earth's physical and cultural features. No, that is not a misspelling. I know that I talked about physical and human features before. Over here I'm talking on purpose about physical and cultural features. You remember what cultural was or is? We discussed it in the previous video, remember? Try to look it up again. Okay, this might seem a little bit complicated. It isn't. I'm going to explain to you why. In the middle is geography. Geography is the geography is the study of the Earth's physical and cultural features. On the upper part of geography is physical geography. On the down part we have human geography. Both are part of geography. So what is physical geography? Well, physical geography is the study of the Earth's physical features and processes. Physical features and processes. What is a process? Well, examples over here of physical features and processes are mountains, which is a part of landforms, but also rivers, oceans, rainfall, and even a climate. A climate is the pattern of weather conditions in a certain area over a long period of time. So if you're looking at the weather on one of the channels at home and they're telling you that tomorrow it's going to rain, that's not part of climate. Climate is a pattern of weather conditions in a certain area over a long period of time. If we're going to go down to the human geography, then we'll see that that means the study of the Earth's people, so we. And that includes our way of life, our homes, our cities, beliefs, and even our travels. And I'm not talking about vacation one more time, because people in history had different reasons to go traveling. Now there's a small side note with the physical features, the physical geography. That's this one. It looks a little bit like mathematics, but then in geography terms. Landform and climate is the same as environment. So if you put landforms and climate together, you will get environment. What does environment mean? Well, it includes all the living and non-living things that affect life in an area. So imagine an area, doesn't matter where. Water affects it. If you don't have any water, it will be very dry. If you have a lot of water, it will be very swampy. Land affects it as well, just like before. Is it dry land? Is it fertile land? Is it high? Is it low? Is it flat? Is it, I don't know, with a lot of mountains? It affects it. But also living things like plants and animals are affecting life in an area. That's what we call environment. So landforms and climate together are called environment. Something important to remember. Maybe you should write it down. Okay, then what else? We have maps. Already since a long time ago, people created maps of the world, of the place of their own. Maybe you do the same thing. Maybe you sometimes made a map of your own bedroom, so you know where to put your bed and your desk. Maybe you made maps of your house or of an imaginary country. People did the same thing during history, also about countries that it didn't even exist of. Over here you see some examples of Nicaraguan maps. All of them are different. It's something important to know that these different types of maps exist, because to study various locations, geographers use maps. Well, if you look at these maps, what kind of differences can you find? Well, there is already two maps with some titles on top of them. One says population and the other one says land utilization and vegetation. Both are already telling you a little bit where they're from and what they're about. First of all, first example is physical map. There is the word again, physical. What makes this map so physical? Well, if you look very closely on the map, you will see the blue for the water, you will see the rivers, you will see light green where the land is low, and the more brown or yellow the color is getting, the higher the ground is. So it's explaining you where lowlands are and where highlands are, where mountains are, where rivers are, and where waterways are, or bodies of water. Also, we have road maps. They're explaining us where to go on which road, where roads are built, where we can find different roads. This is coming very handy when we want to travel somewhere by car or bus. A third one is this one, climates. Although this map actually is telling you a little bit about their vegetations, what kind of things you can find in areas in your country, it also explains something about climates. What kind of climates can you find in different parts of Nicaragua? And the last one is explaining you about population. You probably already saw that on top of the picture, but the darker the color, the more people live on a square meter or a square kilometer. So you can see that the east side of Nicaragua, there are not living a lot of people. while in between Managua and Granada it's very dark, so a lot of people live over there. Different kind of maps. You can learn more about that in your textbook. And then the last part over here already is geography and history. You see over here 4 different circles. Maybe you can imagine yourself on the left side the word geography, and all the way on the right side the word history. I told you before that geography and history are connected very closely. That's why I let these circles connect each other as well. The first one is explaining you, or is telling you, the climate and physical features affect human geography. Try to answer for yourself. Do you know what climate is? But do you also know what physical features are and what human geography is? The difference between those things? Try to look them up in your notes, or otherwise ask me about it. Then if we go a step closer to history, then we're saying how and where people live varies depending on geography. Ask yourself the following question. Where would you live the most, the best? In a fertile place, a place where you can build plants, where you can use water to wash yourself, to drink, to build more food? Or would you like to live in a desert? 2 different kind of landmarks, 2 different kind of landforms. Where would you live rather? So it depends on geography where people lived. We're going to discuss that a lot during these next couple of chapters. A little bit closer to history is different cultures arise based on physical geography. Different people started developing themselves nearby rivers a lot in history. That's a physical feature, rivers. Why do people want to live near rivers? Why won't they live on top of a mountain or in a desert? There is a reason for that. Try to think about it. And the last one is telling you geography affects events, past, but also future. So it doesn't only affect events in the past, but also the future. So geography is always important. This is basically everything that I'd like to tell you about the geography and the history. Remember that you need to write some notes and bring them to school. If you have any questions, bring them as well. It doesn't matter, we have time enough in class to do. Use this information to study for tests and use this information for your project as well. Every week we're going to do this kind of videos. So they're going to be an outline. Be sure you check every weekend Adline to find the new video about the upcoming week's subjects. I hope you enjoyed it a little bit. It was for me also the first time that we're going to do this, so during the upcoming next weeks, maybe it's going to look differently, maybe it's going to be the same. We'll see. At least I will see you guys tomorrow at school, and we're going to talk about what we discussed over here. Good luck, and I'll see you tomorrow.